Welcome back. So I'm going to create a folder by name clean URL under htdocs, okay, and I'm going to drag this to our Sublime text, and I'm going to create a new file by name form.php. We'll create a basic HTML structure here, and then I'm going to create a form element, okay. So action is going to be form.php. We are actually giving form action to the same form file itself, right? And method is going to be post, okay. Now I'm going to create a table, and then we'll create a table row and table data, okay. We'll do that twice. Now I'll copy this table row a couple of times, then in here I'm going to create a label, okay. We are going to create a form label, and I'm going to give the label name as title, okay. And then we'll create another label, and sorry about this, we'll create the input box, okay. Input type equal to text, and name is going title, okay. And then we are going to have another label here, and this time this is going to be content, okay. Then in here I'm going to create a text area, and the name of the text area is going to be content, okay. And then here we are going to have an input type submit button, okay. We'll run this file now. So you guys can see here we got a text area for writing our content, and a input box to give our page title, right? And I have this table here by name page, okay, under the database name test. I'm sure you guys can create this on your own, but if you need a SQL query to create this table, you can get them from the link in the description of this video. So back here, the Sublime text, it should be quotes here, okay. I forgot to close the double quotes here, and then should be a here, right, name, okay. Here in the top I'm going to have a PHP code block, okay. Inside that I'm going to do post, okay. If post, it means when we submit the form with the method post here, this block will be executed, right? So inside that I'm going to have another if condition with post of title, okay. If you're wondering what is title, you can see here, right, the input type text with name title. So we are going to check whether this particular field is filled, okay. And I'm going to copy this once again, and this time this is going to be content. So content is the text area, right, text area with name content. Here it is. So now this is set. We are going to have some validation, okay. It's going to be very simple validation. What I'm going to do is I'll copy this part, and in here I'll make a variable title, and I'll assign here, okay. Likewise I'll do that for content as well, okay. It's going to be content, right. So we assigned them to the variable, and next thing I am going to do is I'm going to trim this part, okay. So how we do that? Simple, title equal to trim title, right. So this will trim anything, all the empty spaces from both the end, and then I'm going to have another variable that is title result, okay, and we are going to have a new function required length, okay, and it's going to be title, and the argument is going to be the title itself, right? We have the post date of title here, right? And then the second parameter is going to be the length, okay. We are going to give this as 4. So we had to build this function now required length, right? So I'll copy this and I'll post this somewhere outside, right? So this is going to be required length, and here instead of 4 we'll give something like length, okay. So inside that we are just going to check, right? So we will be using regular expression, okay. I'm going to do something like if string length, right? That's our function, PHP function, built-in function to check for the length, right? So if title, right? Title is the post data, and then if that is less than length, length is the argument, right? So if it is less than length, then we are going to do an echo, right? This is going to be a simple validation, okay. Minimum length should be, we'll give something like this, and we'll give the variable length, right? And then we will return false, okay. If that is not the case, our validation is a success, right? So we will return true. So we could do the same thing, right, for this area content, right? So I'm going to do something same, right? I'll copy this part here, and then okay, we had to do trim first, right? So it's going to be content trim content. We're just doing the same thing, exact same thing we did for post title, right? I'll paste this here, then this is going to be content result, right? And this is going to be, you know, content, right? So what we're going to do here is I'm going to adjust this title here as data, okay, and here as well. So this should fix the problem, right? So we are receiving the data, and we are calculating the length here using the PHP function string length, right? Okay, and the next step is to check whether validation is passed, right? And that is simple. All we have to do is if title result, right? If there is a title result, it means when it returns true here, we have this function, right? I mean this code block will be executed inside the if. I'm going to do a clean URL, okay. We are going to build a clean URL function now, okay. So the clean URL is going to be pretty URL. That's the function we are going to create, okay. And I'm going to give this as title, okay. So now we had to create this function pretty URL, right? Okay, I'll spell this PRE. So what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this thing here and I'll paste this, okay. Again I had to write function here, right? It's a function. Same here as well, and this time we'll give this as different name, right? So I'll call this segment, okay. And now we need a regular expression, okay, to create our pretty URL. So I'm going to write the variable segment equal to preg replace, and this is the trick part, okay. I'm going to add quotes, and this is first argument, then this is argument 2, and the third argument is going to be the segment. Okay, so the first argument is going to be a regular expression. Okay, I'll do 2 slashes here. Okay, inside that I'm going to have this pipes, what symbol, whatever, I don't remember that exactly. And then we have another symbol here, capital A to capital Z, small a to small z. Okay, these are the characters allowed inside. Okay, then 0 to 9. So this is our regular expression, and we had to end this with a slash, forward slash, and what do you call the dash or hyphen, I don't remember. Okay, so this is going to be our regular expression. So only these characters are allowed here, rest of the things will be replaced by empty space here. Okay, I'm going to give a space, whatever, it's fine. Then after doing that, we are going to have another thing, that is segment equal to, again we are going to use regular expression. Okay, replace that space there, I think it's something like, what we call that, there are 3 arguments, right? Okay, wait, should be something like this. Then we'll have 3 arguments, right? 1, 2, and the third one is again going to be segment, right? So the segment is stored here, the result is stored here, again we are giving that here. Okay, so the same thing, except that this time whatever you had given there, it's going to be everything will be removed except these characters here. Okay, so here again I'm going to give some space. Okay, and then we'll do something like this. Okay, and we're going to skip, what do you call that, s, right, plus, and again the forward slash. Okay, so the next step, we have to make sure there are no spaces at both the ends, right? So I'm going to do something like this, segment equal to trim segment, right? We're again using the same function. Then we are going to return with another PHP inbuilt function, that is string replace, and this time this got 2 arguments. The first is going to be space, and the second argument is going to be the hyphen. All the spaces will be replaced by dash or hyphen. Okay, and then it's going to be the segment. This is the data, right, we get from here. Okay, and then that is all we had to do. So this will return a clean URL. Okay, this is our function. So now we'll do a check, okay, whether this is working or not. It's simple, all we had to do is echo clean URL, right? So let's try this now. I'm going to refresh this. Okay, we have an error on line 15. Let's check that now. So where is line 15? Alright, should be parenthesis, right? Extra parenthesis here, right? That is not required. Let's try this again now. Okay, I'm going to type something like this. Okay, I gave a space there. Okay, oh, we have error on line 24 now. It's really sorry about this. It's going to be str. I think I'm nervous, I'm really sorry. Okay, so I'll refresh this now. You can see here, right, there is a hyphen in between. Let's try something like this. Hello everyone. Okay, submit. You can see here we are getting clean URL, right? So pretty URL is working. Okay, and so in the next part we are going to add the data to the database. Okay, alright, now here inside the post title, instead of clean URL, I'm going to give a new variable. Okay, and that's going to be title data. Okay, and there we are going to assign the value title. You can see here, this is the title, right? The trimmed content here. Okay, likewise we'll do for get as content as well. Okay, so it's going to be content data equal to that's going to be the content, right? Okay, we had to do something before that. Should be like this. Okay, if there is content result, okay, in that case I'll close this here, and here I'm going to give content. Okay, so this will make sure our validation is okay. Okay, in case of content, I'm going to copy and paste a code block here. Okay, and as you guys can see here, these are just some user defined constants. So root is going to be my MySQL username, and there is no password here, and these are database connection strings, right? So down here we have these two datas, right? Title data and content data, right? So what I'm going to do now is here, okay, or we'll do something, we'll have a separate code block. Okay, we don't want to confuse that, right? Okay, so if if I said, if this title data, okay, if this is set, and then I said content data, right? If you guys can remember, here in the top we have this title data and content data, right? So these two variables, if they are set, it means our validation is okay, right? So in that case, if these two are set, we are going to have a database connection here. Okay, so I'm going to do a try catch. Okay, this is going to be catch, right? And we'll do PDO exception. Okay, it's going to be E, right? That's the variable, and if there is any error, we are going to display E dot get message, right? So this will handle the error, right? So inside here we need to make our connection, right? So I'm going to have a variable db equal to new dsn, sorry, it's new PDO, and inside that dsn, data source name, username, these are our constants, remember, password. Okay, so this should handle our database connection. Okay, and I'll copy this once again and paste in here. Okay, and I'll remove this, we'll make use of this later. Okay, so in here, after the connection is made, we need to write our database query. Okay, so it's going to be database db, right? Statement variable, you're going to make a prepare statement. Inside that, I'm going to do insert into page. Okay, remember here our database name is test, right? And table name is page. Okay, and we mentioned test here in the top, right? So we are going to write an insert statement. Okay, so this is prepare statement, insert into page, and we'll give title, clean URL, and content. Okay, so these are the field names, right? You can see here title, clean URL, and content, right? So then we need values, right? So the values are going to be title, clean URL. This is binding, right, in PDO content. Okay, and when this is done, I'll make this in quotes. Okay, this is quotes here, and we'll have quotes here. Then I'll close that, right? So everything is fine. So now we had to bind the data, right? I'll do that in values. Okay, it's going to be array of, first thing is title, right? And for that we are going to assign the variable title data. Okay, likewise for clean URL we are going to bind the variable clean underscore URL, right? And then for content it's going to be content data, right? So our binding is done. Now we had to execute, right? And for that we'll use this try catch here, which we copied before. So I'm going to have row equal to statement, and the function, MySQL function, is execute, right? So when we execute we have values, right? So this values here will be executed, right, using the prepared statement. So then if statement dot row count, so this will make sure we have any rows, this function row count will tell us the number of rows affected, right? So if there is row count, in that case sorry, I'll do something like this. If not, okay, if there is no row count there, we'll do an echo insert operation failed. Okay, else we'll give something like this. We'll do success, right? Echo row inserted. Okay, I guess this will take care of our insert operation. All right, we'll give a try now. It's hello everyone, right? Okay, and we'll give some content. Right, so when I submit, okay, we have lots of error here. Use of undefined constant clean URL in line 52, right? So we'll go to line 52 now. All right, this is a variable here, right? So that's my bad. And then we have line 56, undefined variable statement, line 56, right? So let's see that state, forgot that. And then we have error on execute. Alright guys, I made a mistake again. You can see here in the statement, okay, in the prepare statement, I just need to remove this. Okay, I'm really sorry again, and I hope this time it works. Okay, so we're going to type something like hello everyone, trying again. Okay, so when I submit this, it says row inserted, and we'll take a look into the database, and you guys can see here, right, we have the title and the content, and you can see the clean URL, right? We'll try once again. Okay, I'm going to type something like my new post. That's 3 words, right? Okay, I'll submit this again, and can see here we got a clean URL, right? So in the next part we are going to retrieve the data from the database based on clean URL. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next part. Thanks for your time.